and you're listening to Communities Live on Sheffield Live Radio 93.2 FM with me, Susie Casson and T-Boy. And we're joined in the studio by Ed Bancroft and Josh Cheeseman from the company.
Hello.
Welcome,
Hello.
both of you. Thanks for coming in. So, can you tell us first of all a bit about the company?
The company is an acting group who've been going to 20 odd years, and we always perform at the University Drama Studio on Glossop Road. We do a whole range of different plays. This time we're doing Shakespeare, but we do modern things, things that people write. It's really exciting, and we've got a really brilliant company of people playing all sorts of different roles.
Great. So Josh, can you tell us how you first became involved with the company?
Yes, so it was about a year and a half ago. I was interested in doing some acting, get out of the house and meet people, and I just did a search on Google, and luckily the company was one of the top ones that came up, so I went along and I auditioned and I got a part, so we did, and then there were none, and yeah, it's been fantastic, and I haven't left since, and I think they all regret that, but yeah.
Oh, we don't.
Fantastic. And do you always perform at the drama studio?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you tell us a bit about that? It's on Glossop Road.
It's on Glossop Road. It's a converted church, and it's right next to a pub, which is very handy. And it has about 200 seats, and there are lots of technical things which I'm not really comfortable about talking about, but it's like a modern professional theatre. It's very exciting.
Great. And as an actor, Josh, how have you found the drama studio?
Oh, it's wonderful. It absolutely is. I remember the first time, I'd never been there before I performed there, and the first time I was actually able to go in and see it, I was sort of blown away, because I'd been expecting sort of a village hall or something, and it's an actual proper theatre, beautiful, with, rake chairs and big curtains, and it's a fantastic space to perform in as an actor. It does push you to sort of make sure you project and, give it your all, but that's excellent for the play as well.
Yeah, sounds wonderful. So you've been very busy preparing for a performance next week?
That's right. We're doing Twelfth Night, which is on from Wednesday to Saturday, the 14th to the 17th of June, at the Drama Studio in Glossop Road.
Lovely. And can you give us a quick overview of the plot of Twelfth Night?
It's not one of the simpler plots that Shakespeare writes. There are twins who get separated in a storm, and the girl decides to dress up as a boy because it's safer. And then she gets caught up in a love triangle between a duke and a lady, and it all becomes very, very silly. But it all works out in the end, and everybody lives happily ever after.
Great. So, Josh, can you tell us a bit about your character?
Yes, so I play Sir Andrew Agercheek, who is a fop and a fool. He's a rich idiot who's being taken for a ride by Sir Toby Belch, who's a local nobleman, and he's made to get drunk and spend his money for other people, and is wooing Olivia, who is the Countess of Illyria, where it's set, even though she has no interest in him whatsoever. So I like to think I'm a source of a lot of the comic relief, it's fair to say.
And what are the costumes like?
Well, we've set it in the 20th century, and that's a very broad brush. And so we're using costumes which reflect character, but we haven't gone for the old Shakespeare doublet and hose. We've made it a little bit more modern, a little bit more up to date.
Yeah, sounds a bit more comfortable for the actors as well.
Not really, because it's going to be quite hot in there.
Yeah. And we've got some clips specially recorded for the show of the characters, so shall we have a listen?
Oh, yes, please.
Actually, it's been a really tough year. My dad and then my brother passed away, and it was pretty rough for a while.
Duke Orsino, who keeps sending his man to interfere with the lady. It's all dreadful, dreadful stuff.
A handsome young man would do her the world of good, but she's determined. She said 7 years, she's not going to go out with anyone for 7 years. Can you believe that?
But then this guy turned up, Cesario. He was just, well,
I'll never guess what Orsino's on about again. Yep, the Lady Olivia. Surprise, surprise.
He's been our leader, and we followed him. We followed him everywhere, and we do anything for him. And it was great until he decided he was in love with the Lady Olivia, and then it became, not to put too fine a spin on it, it became a bit soppy then.
I swear, I've been down to this posh lass's house about 5 times, and it's always the same thing. We go in, we knock on the door, we say hello, we give the message. She ain't buying it. She just doesn't care.
But, guess what? We've got Cesario now. Cesario's he's brand new. He seems to get on with Orsino all right. So.
And, just between me and Lee, I'm sure there's something odd about that boy. Something's not quite right.
Now, the whole of this play is about my attempts to deal with a ridiculous man called Malvolio, who keeps trying to stop everybody having any fun. I mean...
Part of the problem is she's got dreadful relatives and friends, and I'm constantly having to clean up everything.
We are out every night, there are parties, there's drinking.
And then he just, shuts it down and tells Toby, you must amend your drunkenness.
I do believe he just doesn't like any fun at all.
When Mariah said we could play a trick on him to bring him down a peg or two, I was in.
That was members of the company who are in 12th night next week at the Drama Studio. Can I ask you, Ed, as the director, do you approach a Shakespearean play any differently to a modern play?
Yes, there are vast differences in the way that language is used, and so we've approached this in a very audience-friendly way. We're not doing the Stanislavski, the audience peering in through an invisible fourth wall. We're engaging the audience directly, so that the language sings to them rather than them feeling distance from what's going on. So it is a very different approach.
Yeah, brilliant. So can I ask you, Josh, how you found the overall experience?
I have really loved doing it. Ed has been an absolutely fantastic director to work with, and it's been very different from any other play that I've ever done, because we've spent so much time at the beginning looking at the characters and who they are, and getting into their heads and understanding them before we start actually blocking it out and doing the lines. And that's been massively helpful, because not just for this play, but I think just for me as an actor going forward, to sort of understand my characters more. And then when you're in that space, you can act so much better because you know what it is that your character would do even if something unexpected happens, or you have so many more ideas for things you can do. And I hope that it's paid off, and that we're doing all these very funny things because we understand how our characters would react to this situation.
Yeah, brilliant. You can tell everyone's really into their character from the clip, couldn't you? So can I ask you, Ed, what have you found most challenging about directing Twelfth Night?
The language is always a challenge with Shakespeare. Finding what Shakespeare was trying to say in language which is 400 years old. It sounds like English, but sometimes it isn't. So we've reinvented some of the words. We found that it's a bit more suggestive than perhaps you might think. And that was a challenge, finding the meaning and the humour behind what Shakespeare wrote.
Yeah. And have you found anything particularly challenging, Josh?
I think, like Ed says, the language is always a difficult one with Shakespeare. Getting into it, understanding it, actually knowing what your character is saying. Because if you don't understand what your character is saying, then likely the audience aren't going to understand what's being said. You have to deliver it in the right way so that they can follow you. But no, I think it's actually everything else has run quite smoothly. And one of the things I have found is that every time I do something, I think, right, I'm gonna go over the top, and then Ed will tell me to rein it back in, and I'll do something ridiculous and silly with lots of physical comedy, and then he'll say, "That was great, Josh. Can you do it bigger next time?" I don't know if there is bigger, but okay, we'll try it.
Great. And can I ask you, Ed, what have you most enjoyed about directing Twelfth Night?
It's a brilliant group of people. They make me laugh. Every time that I suggest something, they go away and do something that's even better than I thought of. And Josh is right. I keep saying go bigger. We're going for physical comedy. We're trying to make it as funny as possible. And in rehearsals, we spend quite a lot of time laughing.
Brilliant. And Josh, what have you found most enjoyable?
Yeah, I think it's just getting to spend time with this cast. I've been here for 1.5 years with the company, and so many people I consider really close friends, and then there are new people I meet who are excellent as well. And it's spending time with those people and doing something that we all love, and sort of having that passion for it. But it's an enjoyable play to do. It's not a difficult emotional play that wears you down because it's about a difficult subject. It's fun to do, and we're all having a laugh. And I'm still laughing, even though I've seen it multiple times, I'm still laughing at other people's scenes when I watch them.
Yeah. Brilliant. So 12th Night is next week, Wednesday to Saturday. At the Drama Studio. If someone's thinking about coming along, what would you say to them?
Oh, please do. It is going to be a very entertaining evening. It's not a very long play. We've cut it down so that it's about 2 hours, so with the interval 2 and 2 hours, 20 minutes. So we start at 7:30, we'll finish about 10 to 10. So there's time for a drink in the pub afterwards. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, great. And Josh, can I ask you the same thing? What would you say to someone who's thinking of coming along?
Yes, absolutely, because you can come along, you can brag to people that you've been to see some Shakespeare and sound very intellectual, but actually what you're going to see is a very funny play with lots of physical comedy, lots of excellent wordplay, and it will just be a big laugh. But then, you can show off the next day and say, "Oh yes, I saw some Shakespeare." Because I'm very cultured, don't you know?
Brilliant. So I think we all need a good laugh at the moment, don't we? So, how can people find out more?
There's the company website, companysheffield.co.uk, and you can book your tickets there as well. And you save 50p if you do.
Great, lovely. Oh, I hope it goes well. It sounds brilliant.